Hey Chanakyans of grade 7, welcome back to the video session. I'm Priyanka. This is time to learn your social science. In this video, we are going to revise the lessons which we learned so far. Okay, shall we move on to it? Yes, in civics you learned unit 1, 2, 3, isn't it? Yes. So in this video we are going to revise those units only. In unit 1 you learned about equality in Indian democracy. In unit 2 state government. Unit 3 gender, isn't it? Yes. So these 3 units we are going to revise. Shall we move on to the video? Yes. First, let's revise from Unit 1. The first chapter in Unit 1 is on equality. Under this chapter, you learnt about equal rights to vote, other kinds of equality, recognizing dignity, equality in Indian democracy, uses of equality in other democracies, challenge of democracy, isn't it? Yes. See, before starting that revision, let me tell you something very clearly. The book bag are not discussed in this video, so it is very important to listen and make a note of the extra questions which is discussed in this video. Okay, only the extra questions and 1 marks are given in this, so please utilize it, make a note of it. Okay. Yes. So, when you learn this lesson, you have to remember certain points. Okay, let us see those things. The key feature of democracy is equality. Okay, in a democratic country like India, all adults are allowed to vote. The one who is above 18, they are allowed to vote. Caste system is one of the most common form of inequality in India. Caste system and untouchability, isn't it? Yes. So Dalits is the term that is used by so called lower caste to addresses themselves. Okay. Yes. When person or treated unequally, their dignity is violated badly. Their dignity is violated badly. Indian constitution has given right to equality to every person. They have, the constitution gave the rights to everyone to be treated equally. Okay. Next, according to Indian democracy, every person right from president to a domestic worker is equal. Okay, even if he is a president or he is a domestic worker, everyone are equal. Okay, each and every person is allowed to visit all public places. So in early days, the people, the lower caste, the untouchable people are not allowed to visit any temple or some other places, isn't it? So in this, under this Indian constitution, each and every person are allowed to visit public places like playground, hotel, shops, market and mall. Okay, government has set up several schemes in order to increase the life of communities and people who have been treated unequally. So government or given has been set up several schemes. Okay, to avoid such untouchability and inequality, they have so many schemes they implemented. Okay, civil rights movement was started under Civil Rights Act of 1964 in USA. Is it clear, children? Yes. Next, let's see the mind map of this lesson. Under this chapter on equality, you learnt about equal right to vote, equality in Indian democracy, other kind of equality, equality in other democracies, and recognizing dignity. Okay, these are the topic you learned in this lesson. And also under equality in Indian democracy, you learned about two methods to implement the equality system: positive midday meal scheme, negative midday meal scheme, isn't it? Yes. Next, let's move on to very short answers. India is a dash country. The answer, democratic country. Okay. Name the key feature of democratic government. The answer is equality. When persons are treated unequally, their dash is violated. Their dignity is violated. Name the government scheme which includes to provide children with cooked lunch. That is midday meal scheme. Which state started midday meal scheme of the sorry, which state started midday meal scheme for the first time? The answer, Tamil Nadu. Mention some factors on the basis of which inequality is being practiced in India. The answer, caste, religion, the class background, sex, whether male or female, etc. Okay. What do you mean by dignity? What do you mean by dignity? Which means dignity refers to the thinking of oneself and other persons as worthy of respect. Okay. So dignity means one person's worthy or respect, how it's referred to thinking of oneself and other persons as worthy of respect. Okay. What do you mean by disabilities act? The answer, according to Disabilities Act, a person with abilities have equal rights and government should make possible their full participation in society. Full participation in society. Give an example to show all people are equal according to Indian Constitution. Yes or no? Yes. Under Indian Constitution, each and every one are equal. The answer is right to vote given to all adults irrespective of their gender, caste, creed or socio-economic status. Is it clear? Next, what do you mean by midday meal program? The answer, midday meal program is a program introduced in all government elementary school to provide students with cooked lunch. So why they have implemented the scheme? Because they should enroll the students in the elementary level. Okay. Why people refuse to think Dalits as equal even though law says it? The answer, this is because of the attitude and individual's nature that cannot be changed immediately. Their individual nature cannot be changed immediately. So it will take some more time to people to accept that all are equal. Okay. And also, wonderful creation of God. All are equal and everyone are wonderful creation of God. No one is inferior or superior. Is it clear? List two benefits of midday meal program. The answer, following are the benefits of midday meal program. They are, poor children begin enrolling and regularly attending classes. This lead to increase in literacy rate of a state and remove of inequality among rich and poor children from schools. Next, let's see long answers. The first one, list the provision in the Constitution for recognition of equality. For recognition of equality. The answer, every person, right from president to a domestic worker, is equal before the law. Each and every one are equal. No person can be discriminated on the basis of caste, color, race or religion or place or where they born and whether they are female or male. Okay, they cannot be discriminated because of their difference. Each and every person has access to all public places like park, temple, malls, hotels, market, everywhere. All persons can use publicly available well, roads, etc. Okay, what do you mean by the term all persons are equal before the law? Why do you think this is important in a democracy? The answer, all persons are equal before the law. By this statements we can understand that the law applied to everyone irrespective of their caste, isn't it? Irrespective of their caste, class or gender, or the law expects everyone to treat others as equal persons. Okay, this is very important in a democratic to preserve the true nature of a democratic society. So we cannot say without following the laws we cannot say that the India is democratic country. Okay, to so these all are happening because of to show the true nature of democratic society. Okay, where everyone's dignity is respected and equally treated. Next, let's move on to Unit 2. Under Unit 2, you learned the chapters role of the government in health, how the state government works. So, both the lessons we are going to revise in this. So, under this two chapters, you learn the topics like what is health, healthcare in India, public and private healthcare services, what can be done in case of public healthcare services, who is an MLA, a debate in the legislative assembly, working of the government. So these are the things you are going to discuss. Let's see the point to remember. In democracy, people accept the government to work for their welfare and betterment, isn't it? Yes, the government is working for each and every individual's betterment, isn't it? Health means ability of a person or animal to remain free of illness and injuries, isn't it? Yes. Health is not only associated with illness, but it is also included factors that affect the health, like clean drinking water. Sometimes the people will not get clean drinking water, and they will not get pollute. They will not get fresh air. They may feel pollutions, and they will not be getting healthy foods. Okay, so these are also the causes of in illness. Okay, in India, although all resources are available, but still we are not able to get proper medical facilities and treatment. Yes or no? Yes. Various healthcare facilities can be divided into two categories. How many categories? Two. That is public health services and private health services. When we talk about public healthcare facilities, one of the most important aspects of public healthcare system is that it provides equality healthcare service. Either it is for free or it will be in low cost. Okay, so the next member of legislative assembly, that they are MLAs. Okay, what is the full form of MLA? Member of legislative assembly, or they are elected by people. We can say that MLAs are representative of people. Okay, every state in India has a legislative assembly, and each state is divided into different areas or constituencies. Okay, a political party whose MLAs has owned more than half the number of constituencies in a state are called in majority. Okay, after the election, the MLAs of the ruling party elect their leader, who becomes the chief minister. The chief ministers select other ministers. The chief ministers select other ministers. Then after the election, the governor of the state appoints the chief minister and other ministers. Is it clear? Yes, some MLAs have dual responsibilities on a MLA and other as a ministers. Then the laws for entire country are made in the parliament. It will be made by parliament. Okay. Next, let's see the mind map for the lesson role of the government in health. So under this chapter you learnt about what is health and the Costa Rican approach and healthcare and equality, healthcare in India, the Kerala experience, and the finally you learnt about types of healthcare services such as public healthcare service and private healthcare service. Isn't it? Yes. Okay, children, next let's see the mind map of role of the government in health. Okay, under this lesson, you learned about what is health, the Costa Rican approaches, and healthcare and equality, healthcare in India, the Kerala experience, and finally you learned about types of healthcare services. So under this, how many types you learned? Two types. They are public health service and private health services. Okay. In next lesson, that is in how the state government works. Under this chapter, you learned about MLA. Under MLA, constituency, majority, opposition, chief minister. So these functions you have learned, and then legislative assembly. Under this, the debate and working of the government. Under this subtopic, you learned about press conference, government measures, ministers' responsibility, types of departments, law making body. Okay, these are the topics you learnt in this lesson. Next, move on to very short answers. The first one, India has the largest number of medical colleges in the world and is among largest producers of dash. The answer is doctors. Okay. India gets a large number of medical dash from many countries. The answer, tourists. Most doctors in India are settled in dash area, urban. Who runs public healthcare system? Who runs public healthcare system? The answer, government. Suppose you see long queues outside a hospital OBT counter. What kind of a hospital is that? The answer is public hospital. Next, which is the full form of MLA? What is the full form of MLA? Member of Legislative Assembly. MLAs are elected by people. Every state in India has a dash assembly, legislative assembly, who appoints the chief minister and other ministers, governor. Name the place where all MLAs sit together to discuss various things or issues. The answer, parliament. All the MLAs that gather together in the legislative assembly are called legislatures. Okay. Next, let's see the short answers. Define health. What is health? The answer, health means ability of a person or animal to remain free of illness and any kind of injuries. Okay. A man is getting his beard shaved by a barber. How this is related to health? The answer, if the tool used by barber to shave his beard is not sterilized and clean, and then it may affect health of that man. Okay. Lady is carrying drinking water from an open well. How this is related to health? The answer, if the lady and her family will drink water of the open and polluted well without boiling or cleaning it, then they may fall ill or may prone to infections and diseases because it may affected by dust on or the other insects. Something may fall inside the well, isn't it? Yes. Find out name of 5 private hospitals and 5 public hospitals of your state, how both are different. So for that this question you are going to find the answer. You are going to write 5 private hospitals and 5 public hospitals in your state. Okay, yes. Next, let's see what is constituency. The answer: every state in India has a legislative assembly, and each state is divided into different areas or constituencies. Next, what is majority? The answer: a political party whose MLAs have won more than half of number of constituencies in a state are called in majority. What is the importance of a press conference? What is the importance of a press conference? The answer: press conference is a gathering of journalists from media. Gathering of journalists from media, they are invited to hear about and ask various questions on a particular issue, and are then expected or a report about the same to the large public. Okay, they are the one who's introducing the laws or any decisions which is taken by the government. Explain the responsibility of a chief minister after election of MLAs. So what is the responsibility of chief minister after the election of MLAs? After the elections, the MLAs of the ruling party elect their leader, who becomes the chief minister. The chief ministers select other ministers. Okay. Next, let's see long answers. Suggest some methods through which government can take steps to provide health care for all. So for this question you are going to find a answer. So you are going to give a suggestion in which method the government can take step to provide health care for everyone. Okay, fine. Next, let's see Unit 3. Under this unit, you learn 2 chapters, that is, Growing Up as Boys and Girls, and 5th chapter, Women Change the World. Both the lessons are very small lessons, isn't it? Yes. So, under growing up as boys and girls, you learnt about growing up in Somaya in the 1920s, growing up male in Madhya Pradesh in 1960s, lives of domestic workers, women's work and equality. Under 5th chapter, you learnt about who does the work, fewer opportunities and rigid expectations, learning for change, schooling and education today, women's movement and campaigning. Let's move on to the points to remember. In our society, different roles are assigned to boys and girls. These roles prepare them for future men and women, isn't it? Yes. So, in some point, they'll be from the childhood, they will be assigned some roles for boys and the girls. Okay, all societies does not look a boy and a girl in the same way. There are many inequalities between men and women across the world. The main responsibilities for household works and taking care of family, children and sick people in a family lies with the women only, isn't it? Yes. Our society devalue the work done by a women in house. They are not valuing the work which is done in the house by a women. Many women work both inside and outside the home. Yes or no? Yes. This is referred as double burden of women's work. This is referred as double burden of women's work. Equality is an important principle of our constitution, but still there is inequality between the sexes in our society. The government has set up Anganwadis or child care centers in several villages where their employees take proper care of children. Okay, next, there are some occupations that are suitable for men and for women. Our society has changed a lot for women as a result of their struggle for equality. Okay, so nowadays women are getting educated and new opportunities are created for them. Yes or no? Yes. So everywhere you can see women, each and every work you can see women nowadays. 83.6% of working women in India are engaged in agricultural work. So they have engaged in agricultural work. A major percentage of women also serves as nurses and teachers. In our society, boys are pressurized to think about getting a job that will pay a good salary so that they can manage their family properly. After a lot of efforts made by men and women, girls' schools open to educate a female child. Okay? Yes. Let's see the mind map of these lessons. For the lesson growing up as boy and girl, the mind map is under this lesson you learned Soman Island, women's work and equality. Madhya Pradesh, under Madhya Pradesh you learnt about social difference and role of men and women. Under this, valuing housework, lives of domestic workers. Okay, yes. In the other chapter, women change the world, you learnt about women at work, education today, fewer opportunities. So what are fewer opportunities? Breaking stereotypes. Okay, they break the stereotypes. And women's movement under and then under this you learned about learning for change. Next, let's move on to very short answers. In our society, dash roles are assigned to boys and girls. The answer: different. Roles assigned to boys and girls in childhood prepare them for future dash and dash, future men and women. Most domestic workers are women. The provision of creches helps many women to take up outside the home. The answer: employment. The government has set up Anganwadis dash in several village Anganwadis, child care centers. Okay. Next, name the first known autobiography written by an Indian woman. That is Rashundari Devi. Who's that person? The woman Rash Sundari Devi. What is the percentage of women engaged in agricultural work in our country? The percentage is 83.6. What does agricultural work mean to these women? The answer: planting, weeding, harvesting, and threshing. After lot of efforts made by men and women dash open to educate female child. The answer is schools. In the dash century, many new ideas about education and learning emerged. 19th century. Let's see the short answers. Define the term double burden. The answer: literally means a double load. This term is commonly used to describe the women's work situation. It has emerged from a recognition that women typically labor both inside the home and outside. Okay, they are doing the household work and also they are working outside of the house. Okay, work done by a housewife is it is devalued. The answer: work done by a housewife is invisible and unpaid work. In our society, it is believed that only paid workers are true workers and are valuable. Thus, houseworks are devalued. Okay, how a boys' school differ from a girls' school? The answer: see, in a boys' school, generally there is no courtyard. Okay, and they play in playground attached to the school. They have the playground attached to the school. While in a girls' school, there is a central courtyard where girls used to play. They used to play. In a boys' school, most of the teachers are male, while in a girls' school, most of the teachers are females. Okay, yes, this is the difference between girls' school and the boys' school. Why we should value housework? Housework is very important, yes or no? Whether see, you can see your mummy and your grandmother all are working inside your house, yes or no? This is very important. If they have stopped working, you will not be getting the proper food, and your houses will not be very clean, isn't it? Yes, the housework is very important. It is equally valuable as other outside works. It should be equally valued like other outside works, but this kind of work is often invisible and is not paid. Thus we should value household work. That's why we have to value the household work. Next, why Ramabai was given title Pandita? The answer: Ramabai could read and write Sanskrit, a remarkable achievement as women, as they were not allowed such knowledge. Okay, why do you think stereotypes about what women can do and what they cannot do affect women's right to equality? The answer is: stereotypes about what women can or cannot do affects women's right to equality because they are considered weak and incapable for doing strong works. So they are thinking that only the men can do the strong works because they are so strong when they compare to the women, and thus women are called inferior to men. They are paid less salaries. The women are paid less salaries or wages than the men. Why women are considered as better nurse? The answer: many people believe that women make better nurses because they are more patient and gentle with the others. What is Ladyland? Which means Ladyland is a place where women had the freedom to study, work, and create inventions like controlling rain from the clouds and flying air cars. Isn't it? Yes. Next, let's see the long answers. Describe the lives of domestic workers as given in the chapter. The answer is: in the given chapter, Hermite's mother was not the only one who did the housework, isn't it? A lot of the work was done by Mangala, their domestic help. Many homes, particularly in towns and cities, employ domestic workers. They will appoint the domestic workers to do their household work. They do a lot of work like sweeping and cleaning, washing clothes and dishes, cooking, looking after young children or the elderly person. Most domestic workers are women. Sometimes even young boys or girls are employed to do this work. the young boy and girl are employed to do this kind of works. So wages are very low for such domestic workers. A domestic workers day begins as early as 5 in the morning and ends as late as 12 at night. Okay, and despite the hard work they do, their employer often do not pay them enough or show them much respect. Okay. Next, what are the various ways women apply to fight discrimination and seek justice? The answer: the various ways women apply to fight discrimination and seek justice are as follows. So let's see some points related to this question. It has proved to be a great success. It has led to a new law being passed in 2006. That is, this law gives legal protection to against domestic violence, which includes physical and mental violence within them house. Okay, raising awareness. So what is raising awareness? Women, in order to fight discrimination, work hard to raise public awareness on women's rights issues, isn't it? Yes, they do so through several means such as street plays, songs and public meetings. Okay, whenever a law or a policy acts against the interest of the women, they raise in protest by holding public rallies and demonstrations. Okay, these are powerful ways of drawing attention to injustices. Okay, women associated with the women's movement also believe in showing solidarity with other women and their causes. Okay, children, we have completed the revision. Okay, your unit 1, 2, 3 we have covered in this video, so you are going to utilize it. Please study and revise the lessons so far what you have learned. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you.